Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. All right, so the main event for UFC Denver is a flyweight bout between Rose Namajunas, former strawweight champion, and Tracy Cortez, right? Tracy Cortez filling in on short notice for Macy Barber. Macy Barber was originally supposed to face off against Namajunas, which was a very good matchup. But I think this is also a good matchup. This is going to be an interesting one because the thing about Tracy Cortez is like everybody underestimates her and she just wins, which is crazy, right? So you got Namajunas. I guess she's number 10 in the world, and Tracy Cortez number 14. So they're very close in the rankings. Namajunas is kind of like on the front end of her flyweight career because she was at strawweight for a while.
Yeah.
And then she's had 3 fights so far at flyweight. She debuted against Manon Furiat, lost that decision, and then came back and beat Amanda Ribas. And both of those fighters are ranked in the flyweight division. So, you know what I mean? That was good, right? Macy Barber was a good matchup, but, you know, it is what it is. Namajunas is the moderate favorite at minus 225. Tracy Cortez sitting at plus 180. Namajunas is 32. Cortez 30. Height is the same. Reach is pretty damn near the same. And Namajunas trains in Denver. And
that's gonna be a factor.
And Tracy Cortez, short notice, she trains in Arizona. So she's coming from the desert. I don't know how high the elevation in the desert is. It all depends on where you are, right? But Arizona, she's from Fight Ready. We'll see, right? So let's so what's your initial thoughts on just like this matchup?
I mean, when you look at it, Thug Rose definitely has a lot more to lose in a way, whereas for Cortez, it's sort of, I mean, it's not sort of. This is the biggest name she's fought, and it's her taking the opportunity to break into, the sort of the next level of names to be fighting and everything. But I definitely think I agree. Like Cortez tends to get somewhat overlooked. So it'd be really interesting to see like if she pulls out the win and wins the decision, what that does for her in terms of sort of legitimacy going forward. It's hard because at this weight division, Thug Rose is 1-1, and it's one of those things where she fought at such a high level at strawweight, and she was, look, she beat Wei Li. She fought all these different names and won, quite impressively. You know what I mean? Like with knockouts and everything. So you can't take away from that at all. But I don't know if she's necessarily looked the same in like the last 3 fights as when I would say she was in like top form. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting matchup, and I think it's definitely a good matchup, but yeah, Cortez has a lot more to win in this.
Rose, man, at strawweight, she's beat who people consider the greatest strawweight fighter of all time. Both of them twice.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot keep Rose's name out of that conversation. Like, people kind of like throw her to the side, right? Like
she's beat Andrade. She's beat.
Yeah, she beat Andrade.
Yeah.
She beat Wei Li twice and Joanna twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, those are probably the 3 best ever in the division, and she's beaten all of them.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a Mount Rushmore of, like, strawweight division,
she's
Rose is there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? Like, and she's longevity as well. She's been around for a long time, and now she's in a whole nother division, which none of these other girls have done.
Yeah.
Like, Wei Li hasn't ever went to another division. Joanna didn't go. Well, she did for the title shot, remember? Against Shevchenko. But Andrade went to 4 divisions. That's insane.
I mean, Andrade has been all over the place.
So I love Andrade, right? She's one of the most exciting female fighters of all time. But yeah, so she got back-to-back wins against Wei Li. That was like 2021. 2022, she lost the title took a long time off, came back and returned at flyweight, lost her debut at flyweight against Bannon in Paris, and then beat Amanda Hebus, right? And now she's in the main event against Tracy Cortez. Yeah, she's had pretty damn good run, man. Like the name she's beaten.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny that Carlos Esparza is the one that beat her twice.
Yeah, I mean.
And Esparza's lost to Weili, and I think she's lost to Joanna as well.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to put her in the conversation too. It's just weird, right?
Yeah.
The division's weird, right?
It's
say
a little bit.
Yeah.
MMA maths doesn't work.
No,
guys.
it doesn't.
It really doesn't work.
It doesn't.
We're doing this one with a blindfold on.
Yeah, it doesn't. But if you put like their careers there, yes, you would put Rose at the top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Arguably probably at number one. Right? Now let's look at Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez, man, she's 5-0 in the UFC.
Yeah.
She hasn't lost in the UFC. She debuted, right? In when did she debut? Okay, so she went to Contender Series, beat Agapova by decision, beat Vanessa Mello by decision, Eggers by decision. And that Contender Series fight was 2019. So she's not very active. That's the problem. She's not very active. So a lot of people don't really bring up her name that much because, you're only good as your last fight. Mm-hmm. She did miss weight one time against Justine Kish, but she still won that fight. And that could be possibly the scenario right now, is that she's taking short notice. She goes to elevation, tries to cut the weight. She could miss weight, right? But I'm pretty sure Rose will take the fight anyways. Yeah. But let's look out for that because that could be a major factor. And she almost lost that fight against Justine Kish. She won a split.
I see that.
And then she returned and beat Melissa Gatto by decision, beat Jasmine Jasudicius by decision, and now is facing Rose Namajunas. She was actually booked to fight Miranda Maverick, but now she's booked to fight.
I see that.
The week after. But she was in camp. So that doesn't mean so we can't. Yeah. But a weight cut's still a weight cut. There's guys that were in camp for 6-8 weeks and still miss weight.
Well, and along with weight cut is a weight cut, elevation is elevation. There's all these external factors that add on to the fact that it's a week earlier.
Man, it's Tracy Cortez. She's getting comfortable with her striking, but I think Rose's striking is just levels above and speed as well. The only concerning factor is I don't think she's working with Trevor Whitman anymore, which is I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad. Yeah, I think it's been a couple of fights where Trevor Whitman hasn't been working with her. Now she's with Genesis Training Center, which is where I believe that's where Mallory Martin trains and that whole crew up in Denver. What is it? Justin Gaethje, there's a lot of a big group right there, and Rose is part of that group.
Okay.
I'm taking Rose Namajunas in this fight. I think Rose Namajunas is eventually going to be the flyweight champion. I believe that. I believe she's only 32. Yeah. And all that knowledge and experience from the strawweight division, big fight experience as well, I think it's going to help her.
Yeah.
And she's not cutting weight either.
Yeah.
But, well, she's probably cutting weight. But
not nearly as much, yeah. I think it's just so hard to go against the fact that, the people she's beaten. Yeah. Even the people she's lost to. You know what I mean? It's really hard to deny that Thug Rose is one of the best female fighters, at least of strawweight, Mount Rushmore. And it's only a different one weight class up and everything. I see her winning too.
Cortez might be more physically imposing, but I think Rose is going to use her speed, and Cortez is eventually going to try to lock her in and try to maybe take her down or something throughout the fight. Yeah. Rose is probably not going to do that. Rose is going to be speed. I think she goes in there and puts on a striking clinic for 5 rounds.
I think it's
gets a late finish.
I think it's a technical show of striking. And then, if there's a finish, it's going to be probably Rose by knockout in some way.
Yeah, look at Tapology's predictions. Namajunas, 71% of people picking Namajunas. Yeah. And Cortez is 29%, right? But Cortez could still win this fight. You never know. She might come in there and take her down and just pound her out. Who knows what's gonna happen? But like, if I think about the fight, I think Rose goes in there and puts on a very technical performance, gets the win, because the win is the most important thing.
I just think the experience factor is going to play such a role that, yeah, I think it'll be a close fight, especially just because of the weight difference and Rose has sort of seemed, I wouldn't say sluggish, but like the weight division feels a little bit different and everything. It takes a couple fights, but yeah.
And also, it's a big jump from like she has fought so far to Rose Namajunas.
Yeah.
It's a big jump. And also, she wasn't preparing for 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Now she has to fight 5 rounds.
Yeah.
I think Rose takes her into the deep waters. I think Rose will have a good game plan. And, if she gets in her rhythm, man, it's hard to stop her.
It's the external factors.
Like her confidence grows through the fight. Just like how her confidence dwindles through the fight, it grows through the fight as well. So we got to see the first round or two to see like how she looks. But I think if she gets into her flow, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, that mental factor is...
Tracy Cortez.
Yeah.